Hello to those far and wide, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new, welcome. Please do stay and subscribe. It would be much appreciated from me. And to those who are returning, plus one more subscriber, guys. We are on 7. To those who are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back, and thank you so much for clicking on this video as well. I do hope you enjoy it, if I did not say that before. This is officially episode 2 of... Also, can I just again apologize for the sound, because this is not my normal speaking voice, so I'm just being accommodative to my neighbors and the new environment and everything. So I do apologize if it is a problem, but I hope it's not, because then at least your ears won't bleed. I won't be shouting. So yes, apologies for that, as stated in another video. But this is officially episode 2 of BLKCHAT. As promised, we are speaking about dating as a millennial, right? We, as millennials, or a person living in the millennial age, can attest to dating and being in a relationship as an extreme sport, because it has become increasingly difficult. And I thought, why not break it down and see what the problem is, so we can walk through it together. I came up with 6 possible reasons that I personally feel are the reasons to dating becoming more and more difficult, especially in the millennial age. So without further ado, let us get straight into those reasons that I came up with. I will possibly give my own personal experiences, but it is important that I do put out the disclaimer that most of in fact all of these are based off my own personal experiences and from hearing other people's experiences as well. So there has been a level of research, but it is mostly based on my personal experiences and opinions. Okay, so what happened was I found a better sitting position halfway through the shooting. So if the lighting changes and my position changes, I apologize for that. Sorry. Reason number one is that we're just not ready. We don't know that we're not ready, because this is a classification of people, right? There are people that are ready to settle down, probably like mentally, but emotionally, they're not ready. And what I mean by this is, right, you can want to be in a relationship, but you may not be ready to be in a relationship in terms of you being emotionally stable to become someone's partner, right? Because we tend to think a partner is your saving grace and they are your savior, and that's not the case. You are an individual. You need to be an individual even in a relationship. It's a joint effort, but in the same light, you are an individual. So at times, this now leads to the idea that once you are in a relationship, all your traumas will be healed, and that's on you. So we're not ready, and this is the other aspect of not being ready. You'll find a person who's totally okay and settled down with their life and happy, but there's a lack of communication. This is a bonus as well. There's a lack of communication between two people that want to be in a situation. For now, we'll title it a situation. So one person might want a relationship while the other is not actually looking for a relationship, but because the benefits of a relationship are what they are looking for, the lack of communication between that and that becomes a problem. Just have way too many options. This is the second reason. We just have way too many options, and that is a problem to a certain extent, because, and by the way, I'm not saying be Bob the Builder. I'm not saying build an individual. It is on them, like I said, for reason number 1. But when you're in a relationship, right, there are certain compromises that you have to make, certain sacrifices that you have to accustom to, right, without jeopardizing yourself in the situation. I have to point that out. I'm not saying change who you are. I'm not saying jeopardize yourself in a situation, but we are individuals with different life experiences. So how you comprehend, that's the word, how you comprehend certain situations is totally different from someone else's comprehension of the same situation. Therefore, there needs to be communication and common ground that you guys will find. Now, having too many options becomes a problem in the sense that aspect of wanting to find common ground, it doesn't seem necessary, because the minute a problem arises this side, you have another option to pick from. And in the process of that, you're not working on yourself either. Instead, you're just moving on from one person to another, which I don't judge. It is totally okay. But at least there should be some growth on your part as well. And the fact that we all have too many options, I'm not going to exclude myself from this category. We all have too many options. There's dating sites, there's social media where you can meet millions of people. So it really makes it seem like it's not worthwhile spending time and figuring things out with the partner that you have chosen. Reason number 3 is that, okay, there's this idea that in order to be there's this idea that you have to be successful first, you have to gather everything that you need to gather first, and then only will you be rewarded with love or relationship or whatever you want to be rewarded with. That seems like an intangible right now. I'm not too much against it, and I say this because I'm at a point in my life, there's a lot of pressure with being a millennial just in general, and the need to succeed constantly because you see your peers doing certain things that you're not doing, and the pressure starts building up, right? So I'm at a point in my life where I personally need to build a name for myself, and I know my ideal partner, I know what I'm looking for, and I feel like at the stage that I'm in right now in life, I need to achieve certain things first, because I believe the only way I'll actually be compatible with my ideal partner is if I achieve those certain things, which is exactly what the problem is. I am guessing. I'm going to try to find a logical way to put this, right? So we tend now, with that idea in mind, we tend to put the idea of a relationship or affection to the side, which affects mental health as well, because now you're thinking, I don't deserve certain things, and that's not true. That is not true. You end up putting strain on your mental health, which is essential, extremely important. And you having this idea, I know, for example, myself, me having this idea of love and success competing against each other really does play a huge role in mental illness and mental ill health. So honestly speaking, I feel like we're at a point where we are a tiny speck in the universe. We are a tiny speck on earth even, for us to be worried about certain things. I feel like we need to start living life for what it is, which is a constant cycle of you gathering things and you releasing things, positive energy, negative energy, until you die. So yeah, honestly, I feel like we need to relax when it comes to that, and also not put too much pressure in looking for it as well. Looking for it just chases it away. Live life. Speaking of confusing ideas and conflicting thoughts, we tend, and I know everyone does this, we tend to confuse the idea of a relationship with the idea of being in love with someone. And what I mean by this is, right, you can be in a relationship with a person as a matter of convenience. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's love in there. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's affection in there. It's just a matter of convenience. I'm single, you're single, let's just do this thing. And maybe driven by infatuation, you guys can fall in love. But in most cases, it's just the idea of being in a relationship that makes people want to be in a relationship, not actually being in love with the person and willing to work through certain things with that person, which then results in the first three problems that I mentioned. I think, first three problems that I mentioned. So it's just plainly the idea, or confusing the idea of a relationship with the idea of love. So now, leading into reason number 5, right? We are way too guarded with our emotions. That's also not a problem, because at the end of the day, you are the only one who can truly deal with your emotions, right? Not anyone else for you, not anyone else on your behalf, nothing of the sort. You are the only one who can deal with your emotions the proper way, right? So you being too guarded really isn't a problem, but it then becomes an issue where you are so guarded to the point that you're not even open to the idea of receiving love. You feel like you're not worthy because you're guarding other emotions aside from a heartbreak. You're guarding childhood traumas that you haven't resolved. So that becomes, now, if it manifests to that level, it then becomes a problem. Otherwise, protecting yourself from heartbreak really isn't an issue. Lastly, reason number 6 is that we have expectations that are way too high. I feel like actually everything I've said correlates with everything that I've said. Does that make sense? Everything I said correlates with each other. Yeah. So we have expectations that are way too high of people. So it goes back to me saying that you can't expect your partner to be your savior. You can't expect your partner to be your saving grace. And at the end of the day, they are an individual themselves. So your expectations of them are not their responsibility. And we tend to forget that. I, for one, know that I tend to forget that, because I've got such high expectations of a person that I feel a certain way towards, which is not a problem, but at times you need to tone it down and understand that they are an individual at the end of the day, and you have to understand as well that you are an individual, because there's no way you can live up to expectations someone else sets for you, especially not communicated, because there's no way I'm going to guess that I'm supposed to be doing certain things. And at the end of the day, that does put strain on the relationship itself. It puts strain on you, it puts strain on the person. So honestly, lower your expectations. Just don't have any expectations. So recording this has been a job and a half, because it's a new environment. I can't shout. There are people with background noises, and I hope they don't reflect on the sound as well. But I do hope you enjoyed the video. I really do hope that you enjoyed the video, and let it also be a success. And if you are new, please do stay, please do subscribe, please do like, please do comment, share your own experiences, and share the video as well. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Goodbye.